heal wounds nicely complements GVO by making up for Eden health pods. It's the least they could do, right? Also, I should actually double check what changes we had here. Iridescent scales are gone, so that's a bit of a shame, losing some of our armor class. Eyeballs on our body disappear. Oh, that's too bad. We're also becoming less transparent, but the flip side of all that is acid beginning to drip from our mouth gives us an acid-based auxiliary attack on melee hits, so that is fantastic. You're probably going to get away with your convocation. Thought that might be the case. It's unfortunate, but these things happen. And Tengu Reavers probably have to be that there that goes next, just because all their spells hit like a truck, as we call the rest of the level our way. Now that we've dealt with most of the enemies, though, I can kind of step up and make sure we're taking care of this Tengu. Especially since they won't fire through us. I don't think. Maybe they will and just hope that they don't hit their friends, but if so, that's not a good strategy, my Tengu friend, because I promise you, gonna end badly for you and your allies. There we go. Acid Bite is OP for sure. Don't know if you like those new mutations. I'm not a huge fan. We lost a lot of our good stuff, but hey, we'll keep going for a bit. Jivia's got our back. I'm sure things will come back into focus. You're fine. Hope everyone is well too. I'm definitely doing fantastic. Thanks so much for asking. Now it's the long weekend for Easter. So taking it as a good opportunity to get some relaxing done for sure, but more importantly, also getting some stuff done around the house that I've been able to push off, been convincing myself to not do because, you know, there's so many important tasks that I'm doing at the moment here. So it's nice sometimes to get the much needed break to just hop in and make sure that I'm finishing some stuff. That's Spidey's OP, but enjoy it until Jivia takes it away. Oh, I will. I definitely will. But okie dokie, we have Marjorie here. I mean, this is where we might want to just swap over to our dual fire protection. Definitely seems sensible. Scimitar Flaming, Glaive of Flaming. Just make sure that we don't have any unexpected enchantments going on here. And start off, I'm gonna swap to double fire and gotta start sliming the place up just a wee bit. Fortunately, we have a lot of polearms against us, but it's not the end of the world as they start to run towards us. I think I will even pull out a quick heal wounds ability. And slowly but surely chunking through these sons of guns. Every time the Hell Knights blink away from us, it's actually pretty advantageous because they have to walk back through a lot of the slime to get there. But there we are. Slime wall Marge. Or do we just destroy her? No, I'm glad we slime walled for sure, because I think that would have been a bit of a rougher fight one way or another. AC would decrease by 1. Probably not worth it. We'll hold off for the fancier dragon scales. It'll be but a moment, I'm sure. Hello, friends. We go back to the tabbing journey. In fact, as the Convoker. Convoker calls in Sojabo. How about that? Hello. Storm Dragons is nice if we don't have any other Arlec sources for sure. Yeah, if we didn't have both the Shield of the Gong and our gloves, would have been a huge win-win. Slime Bojo. The interesting part there is that evasion means that even with Slimify, it may take a few hits, but I don't see why not. She's not exactly carrying anything that I care about. Greatsword Electrocution. Miss me with that. So, I think we'll pop in here. Should also swap back to our cold resistance. Made sure that we have nice kind of across the board resistances. A little bit safer, and I want to Uzamancy as well? Sure. Chunk our way through some of the popcorn here. And Sojabo, there we go. I think we will Slimify And just need to hit you. There we go. Perfect. Now me and my slimes against the world, or not. Vault Warden kind of ruining the teamwork, but that's fine. Miss XP, but whatever, exactly. No, we're not too hurting for experience at the moment, mostly coming through these areas for the loot. And pretty happy as is with our skills and our overall level. Of course, it still helps. Every little bit does, but not a huge deal one way or another. So we swap over to our electric branded axe here, chop our way through all the undead minions. Not too shabby. And look at that, treasures. Give me all your treasure. Including some acid wand charges, that's pretty huge. Now Slime Mom has a new slime daughter, one big happy family. Oh, aren't we ever. It's gonna be a wild reunion whenever that ends up taking place, because we have people from all across this realm of existence, as it were. There we go, Crystal Golem going down pretty quickly once you corrode them. Not completely necessary, but if it's just one wand charge, not too much of an issue. It's nice that Great Orbs of Zot are considered slimes. Definitely. Not they were a threat with our will anyway, but for lower will characters, it can for sure be an issue. There's someone, or that's a monster that I find myself constantly overlooking a little bit, because they can definitely be crippling. But yeah, I think, much as safe had guessed here, I think the plan is to go to depths now. We have, again, just solid resistances across the board without needing to swap out. Defenses are slowly getting there too. Still the pseudopods giving us the misshapen body, but not too shabby. Oh, and I still have translucent skin 3. Ooh, I thought I lost more stacks of that. Nice. Let us do it. Head to depths. Could go to crypt for sure. I'm not in a huge rush to do so on this character. Usually I find crypts to be a really nice place where, like, okay, I still need to get enough experience to get, you know, X spell castable, so I need that. I'm gonna go to crypts. Or much like we used vaults, if you really need resistances, then it's a good one. As is, I'm not too worried, but we'll keep it in the back pocket for sure as a really good option for if we start to have any issues here in depths, which I'm hoping won't be too much of a concern, especially since we're healing back a lot of the damage that we're taking, of course, as we chomp our way through these sons of guns. Not too shabby. We get 3 pips of RN with Artifact War Axe. Yeah, we have multiple ways to really crank up that positive energy. Again, that's the thing about Deep Elves. Or Deep Dwarfs, sorry. Good vibes only, of course. There we go, we're getting a bunch of dragons. None that we're desperately wanting to take the skin of, though we do get the fire dragon scales. But I'm hoping as soon as we do run across our first gold dragon, it's our chance, our main opportunity to make something special happen. And then we'll truly be cruising in all the defensive capabilities. What? Doesn't look like they have an Earth Elementalist with them, so we can actually use a corridor for once. Taking out the other shaman there before they're able to buff up the Iron Troll is a huge plus, because a hasted Iron Troll would start to hurt a wee bit for sure. And there we go. D1, or U1, I guess is what Depths would be called more accurately. Depths 1, to take away any sense of confusion, or potential confusion. Depths 1 is a really sketchy place. It's where a lot of the issues are run into for me for sure, because you're at that choke point, you have your one way in or out, and if you start crowding that too much, you're going to be in a rough spot. Crystal plate armor looks better for this character, although they're not dropped by an enemy and Jivia eats them just fine. Yeah, unfortunately, not something that we can put our eggs in the basket of, because it's very rare that I find myself coming across. Ooh, interesting. That's an ancient lich too. Should have thought about that before tabbing a little too prodigiously, but let's take you back into a corridor real quick. And I don't know where the flayed ghost is who flayed us. Are you anything? No, you're just Caustic Strike Zombie. That should be fine. How about that? Well, there's somewhere. But as for the Ancient Lich, I mean, if we were desperate here, we could read our Holy Word Scroll, get some good preliminary damage. Not too shabby. As is, I'm not too concerned about that. Crystal Spear is concerning, of course. I think I will use a haste nice and early on the fight here. We have 7 of them, so decent little cash under our belt. And is there anything else that I wish to do? You are resistant to electricity. Spectral Broadaxe in this corridor doesn't help us out too much. So I'm going to start with some acid, hopefully corrode you, and we do. Because yeah, if we keep getting flayed by this buddy, that's going to be an issue. But is he resistant to being by single-celled entities? Right? My guess was with Colgate that they're immune to Slimify, but that might not actually be true now that I think about it. Because if we go in here, it does work on corporeal undead monsters. And I'd call an Ancient Lich a corporeal undead monster any day of the week. So I almost should have done this earlier, but let's just Slimify this son of a gun. A little bit of Oozomancy sprinkled in there for good measure. And then who want what? Oh, Flayed Ghost. Mistakes were made, my friend. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm very glad that you made said mistakes. But, there we go. And, of course, again forgetting that the first encounter is the most important one, because that's where all the people come out to play, yay. You had Flay minus 257 on your Naga run? Oof. That's definitely an interesting spot to find yourself. Not exactly ideal. But okie dokie. Do I want to take any further steps here? There is another Flayed Ghost. You son of a gun. Digging into the wall is not going to help us while we have this Earth Mage around, but that's definitely an option for us here. Let's see who's going to step up. Oh, there's someone invisible in front of us. There we go. Earth Mage giving us a little bit of a corridor, at least for now. Again, not something we can rely on because they're probably going to break away something fierce. I think we killed them. We did. So that means we can take a few steps back here real quick. I'm going to dig this way. And we're going to face these buddies in a bit more of a controlled fashion, as it were. Or not. Hello all. I was hoping to take out especially the Flayed Ghost or the Summoner who brought them into existence. But that's fine here. Use the ancient technique of O and tab to deal with the dire situation. To pause, take a screenshot because it was a cool big number, then resumed O tabbing. It's definitely quite the character you had there to be able to get away with that. Let's head back into a nice little bit of a corridor here. Okay, we could have actually been using our Vampiric brand for a decent little bit of that fight, but let's Oozomancy to start off. Get a heal wounds off real quick. And once the vampire's dead, we're swapping over to Vampiricism and hopefully can heal up some of the damage that we're taking over the course of this fight. That is quite a rough series of events. Probably should have stopped tabbing a little bit sooner on my end. Definitely a lot of cold damage coming our way. We could chug a resistance real quick. Then we're mostly just dealing with this base damage on both fronts. Still, not exactly nothing to sneeze at. But I'd like to get back in this corner, or we could try and start getting out of here. Fortunately, not a lot of great examples for the moment. I mean, one thing is that you do not see invisible. You do see invisible. Let's double check that I didn't just miss it here. So, we could reduce this 15% chance to hit us to even lower. That's not bad. Still have to worry about this son of a gun, though. Definitely should have done the old hands off the keyboard slightly earlier in this fight, just to make sure we're in a decent spot. But, I mean, here we are. So another alternative is to bring out a Slimify, just to give us a body here. Yeah, perfect timing on the Hydrate Colgate. What we just drank, let's do it again. Good excuse to actually give my brain a minute to process. As things are looking a little bit rough, let's do the Slimify. Get an ally on our side here real quick. Then, what are my odds of murdering you? You don't have very good chance to avoid my attack. We are still taking cold bolts from this frost giant, unfortunately. Let's take care of Simulacrum. And then, oh, would you look at that? An Earth Mage on the way. That's less than ideal. So, what do we wish to do here? Kind of depends on who steps forward here between the Frost Giant and the Eden. The Eden is scarier once they're next to us, but of course it would allow us not to have the ranged Bolt of Cold attacks coming our way, so that would be kind of nice. The reason why I ask myself this is because of this cloud of freezing vapor on the floor. If I think the Eden is coming through first, then it's definitely a better idea to just start walking away. Make sure that we have the space to do something to ensure our continued survival. I am still tempted to throw out a haste here. Give us some extra speed. Get a few more actions done in the interim steps. Let's start there. And we do get the Eden, which we can now outrun a wee bit. Another Wand of Digging charge to just bring ourselves... Oh, we're at the edge of the map. Or is slime covered rock? No, it can be dug through. Huh. Maybe it can't while it's covered in slime. That's a bit of an interesting mechanic that I haven't thought of before. Okay, so we are stuck in this corner. That's good to know, though. So what else can we do? We could start healing like mad, which is a decent little solution here for sure. Well, let's do it at least a little bit. Again, we could Slimify. Do we wish to Slimify? Already a little bit worse for wear. I think instead, let's use the Vampiricism to chop through you, and then hit twice for 32 plus the extra cold damage. That's rough. Did the text in the log refer to the walls as summoned? You're wondering if the troll can shatter? I'm guessing not, because I think this Earth Mage would have already used their dig ability, so that might be kind of what I'm missing here, and that's definitely interesting. Now you are a corporeal undead, is what I would refer to you as. So you would think we could do one of these. Beauty. Now, what I'm thinking is we do one dig, then re-ooze so that no more digging can occur without our implicit or explicit consent, I should say. And the rest of you can come get some. Let's see. Keep the Uzamancy coming as we continue to draw more attention, more friends coming our way. Oh, is there someone? Might have been something invisible next to us. Whoopsie daisies. Go for another quick heal wounds ability. We are being smitten by this son of a gun. So, I think we'll start retreating back through our slime just a wee bit. We're no longer fast, and yeah, that's the next kind of consideration for sure, Colgate. Reading a teleport scroll is probably a decent idea. Delpon also trying their best to keep us alive with the stretch redemption to make sure that I'm listening to my own rules about not moving too quickly. I appreciate it. Or just giving me a good opportunity to stretch. Either way, I greatly appreciate it. Because this is the type of moment that I start scrunching. You know what, let us, retelling now, if we are too low by the time we start teleporting, can definitely find ourselves in a rough spot, especially again, since the Shield of Gong is always going to cause some interesting encounters to develop one way or another. Oh, but here's a good place to fight. Seem to be playing real fast there. Too fast, for sure. For a near-death situation, you'd think I'd chill out a bit. Okay, let's definitely Uzamancy. Ooh, down to 11% failure. You know what, we might have to hold off for the moment and just regain piety. I'm thinking one Caustic Strike we can probably take. The one kind of caveat there, the important thing to keep in mind at the very least, is that it's not one enemy for long. Let's see, what are your living spells? Living Petrify? Oh, that's honestly not that great of a counter to us, friend. That's fine. Go Crypt for Piety? That could be a good use for Crypt for sure. I will definitely be keeping in mind there are a few little smite spells. But there we go, we take care of this son of a gun. No, we do definitely want to think about heading back. Right now I'm just kind of flying by the seat of my pants while we're waiting to find an upstairs, I guess. How much magic mapping do I have? 4? I like to have 5 magic mapping for Zot, but it might be a good idea to use one of them, especially if things start to look any more dire here. If we start to get another huge crowd sent our way, something to keep in mind. Again, this is a good spot for us to be hanging out because nothing can break through these walls. At least nothing the monsters bring to bear. So it's not too shabby as we chomp our way through most of these bad boys. Not too bad. Some more friends. The downside, of course, these one-wide corridors is people like the Spriggan Berserker here. If their summons get ahead, and their summons can often be scarier than they are, then we don't like being held in, but no issues here, and we're fine. With the new rules, does depths have respawns? No, I don't believe so. In Trunk, I have no idea what's going on. But no, at this stage, not having to worry about anything like that. Instead, we can just clear out the old-fashioned way. Hello, friends. Everyone would like to come down here real quick. Make things a wee bit more manageable. Come on, my ugly friends. There we are. Definitely don't discriminate. This is an equal opportunity murder fest, and I will kill anyone who so wishes to face the music. Ah. You might be a bit tougher. So, let's just not deal with you. Turn you into a slime. That's how easy it is to deal with juggernauts, folks. Just don't bother. We are now really low PD, so I'm starting to very much consider Colgate's suggestion of just popping our way into Crypt for a little bit of recovery. Fortunately, this floor is now a bit more reasonable in terms of overall density of monsters, so I can probably finish at least here before needing to make that crucial final decision. So with that in mind, let's just keep O-tabbing like we do. You can see just how strong this combination is, though, by the fact that we are able to O-tab. Again, we're at 23 armor class on a completely melee character. To be fair, 36 shielding probably deserves an honorable mention. So I feel like we should not be getting away with this, and yet here we are. Where the starter's at, though? So we were actually just at some stairs there, I believe, right? Or at least near access. Yeah, just down to this corridor and across the way. All of our stairs are just in that one tiny area for the moment. Our mouth feels dry. That's too bad. I really like that mutation. We did, however, start exuding ooze. Melee attacks may engulf living foes that are my size or smaller. Huh. So we can silence anything? I think the dwarves are, in most fantasy situations, shorter than the average species. I think we count as equal to like a medium build to all the humans and whatnot throughout the dungeon. But I could be wrong. In general in this game, the size qualifications are much more apparent, or relevant rather, for small species like Spriggan, halflings when they existed, or large ones, ogres and trolls. So that's interesting. An ogre or a troll of Jivia could engulf pretty much anything. Not dragons, I guess, since those are one class higher in size, I believe. I did lose Acid Bite, unfortunately, indeed. But there we go. You can see that we're already back up to 4 pips of piety and a decent failure chance again. So I think we'll actually keep going in depths. Keep Crypt as a potential safe space to explore in the future. I should have checked to see if this was a distortion brand, but we're good. Now if I could just get a few of you, most namely I want the Iron Troll, but not the Shaman, or not. Am I confusing people again? No, they just didn't follow me. Interesting. Deep Dwarf is medium size. Okay, yeah, I thought that might be the case. We should definitely stair dance as much as we can. Mighted and hasted Iron Troll. Doing surprisingly well against them, so never mind. Apparently I was just incorrect before. How about that? It just ain't no thing. Oh, there she is. The first gold dragon. Okay, kids, place your bets. Place your bets. Will we be able to steal the skin from this one golden dragon? I hope so. Or 2 of them, actually. How about that? Little bit of a sketchy encounter, but we should be able to take them. And no skin on dragon number 1. Does not matter. Abyss is no threat. Probably true. Still, it's a trip that I'm not looking to take. Okay, I don't think there was any goblin of skin there. Unfortunately, I think we just didn't quite get it, unfortunately. And let's take a sip real quick here. Keep that palate hydrated, as it were. As for the rest of you, should be in our wheelhouse. Ooh, getting pushed off the stairs is bad, though. We'd like to recover our position if possible, especially as more and more comes crawling out of the woodwork. Hello, friends. Let's see. Ooh, a lot of you are summoned. We can just kill these 2. These will decapitate because they're summoned by this buddy, so let's just do that, shall we? Get back on our stairs and make sure we take this fight appropriately. Yeah, you'd get a log message if a Bible skin dropped, unfortunately so. But I guess the next gold dragon will be it, eh? Wouldn't that be nice? Naga warriors lose 1/5 of their HP in trunk. Oh, really? That's interesting. I never thought of Naga as being significantly overpowered. Though I guess they're definitely in a weight class of their own regardless. And can do quite incredible things. Hey Railbird, how's it going? Hope you're having a fantastic long weekend. Always lovely to have you around. Thank you for joining us today. So let's just keep making some noise. Bringing all the friends to the yard here. Hello all. Looks like those 2 gold dragons were all we were gonna find for now. But oh my gosh, these reapers are doing surprisingly little against us. Oh, there we go. Pushed off the stairs again. I was just thinking to myself, I wonder if this dragon is gonna push me off the stairs, and lo and behold, there you have it. Definitely step in the middle of these two so that we get some slicing and dicing action, some cleave damage with our axe. And there we go. We've broken our way in. Okay, and we're back up to expelling jellies when we're seriously injured. So that is lovely. Slowly but surely regaining all the piety that we lost in the scramble earlier. As long as we're playing just a wee bit more carefully, we should be a-okay. Moving forward. I say as I immediately start just spamming tab, and I keep tapping enter to get past force more messages. Not the most consistent way, or not the most cautious way to play, but here we are. Then, what else do we want to train? Could train some more throwing just for what few throwing objects we have. Don't see a lot of value in that. So it's mostly just, I guess, more fighting, more evo, and more defensive skills. It's interesting. Normally, I'd be cranking up throwing on a melee character, but because Jivia eats most of our throwing equipment anyway, it's not a huge deal, and instead evocations kind of takes the cake. Even with just the few evocables that we have. You know what, let's just put that in fighting on for the rest of time here. And sure, a wee bit more armor never hurt anybody. In fact, we can even focus that down, shall we? Ooh, and hello, my lich friend. Goodbye, my lich friend, I think. Always hard to tell when they're invisible, but not too bad. Some mind burst, eh? Feel like AC is a weak point right now? For sure. Yeah, we are struggling a wee bit on that front. 23 AC is not where you want to be when you're constantly coming face to face with all your greatest fears. So the easy answer to that is that we're waiting for a gold dragon. Gold dragon scales, of course, is definitely an answer, or definitely is an answer rather. But we'll have to think about that. In fact, I don't think we found any really solid armor to switch. Plate armor fire resistance could be okay. But we definitely, I'm kind of saving my enchantment scrolls for the gold dragon scales. So I'm hoping, I'm praying, and I'm wishing that we'll see them. Evasion is even weaker. Yeah, the Gong is not a fan of evasion, to say the least. I would like to take more of you upstairs if possible. What kind of products do you have? Anti-magic? You don't say. How about that? So, we definitely would like this. Question becomes, what do I want to throw out? Probably have a bunch of trash that I'm not even paying attention to, so let's open up this menu. Makes it a little bit easier to process. And what have we got? I mean, Wand of Flame we haven't been using, so we could just get rid of that. We're past the water levels, where I like to use it most often, or where I find it the most useful, rather. And what else, what else? We can't drop scrolls temporarily, unfortunately, in terms of our enchant armor and enchant weapon. Well, I think so. We'll feed our slimes a bunch of Wand of Flames. We do have our single javelin, which I probably should. That is definitely like the right answer, but I feel like I just can't. Not my sweet javelin. It's the only one we got. We gotta hold on to what's dear in life, you know? Warriors got Battle Cry and increased damage and better shields and trunk as well. Ooh. That's what I needed. Snake needs to be harder, right? The one branch that has probably killed me the most times out of any of the S branches. Though to be fair, that was also pre-spider buff. So I'm curious where Spider will rank after a while longer of needing to explore that avenue. I could just get a few of my new friends here encircled. Perfect. I think we even killed the invisible enemy just in the scrambles. That's lovely. Surprised we're not taking more damage from these javelins, seeing as how I didn't think that shielding did a heck of a lot against javelins in particular, but I'll take what I can get. It is what it is, and I'm happy to be doing okay. Let's not mince words and get that mistaken. I'm very happy with what I'm seeing. So we continue to make quite the welcoming party here. I guess if I Uzamancy, not great coverage, unfortunately. Oh, whoops. I hit enter anyway, so guess it's perfect. Just perfect. So before we get constricted by the tentacled monstrosity, want to pop upstairs again, just play it a wee bit safe. Why the heck not? Petrify and Yar's combo can't be used for immediate petrifying anymore. Oh, I was not aware that it could be. That's a fun little bug. I'm guessing that's a bug and not a feature. In my mind, it would have just removed the in progress petrification and just done the usual Yara thing. So that's pretty wild. Okie dokie, chunk through. I don't think I want this War Axe, but we'll check. It is +5, which, I mean, don't get me wrong. It's pretty snazzy in its own right, but not what we're looking for here. Take down the Javelineer, and there we go. Now we have 4 Javelins. Ooh. Ah. And let's see what's awaiting us in the little vault that holds the Zot entrance, at least if I had to guess. I would assume that is the case. Okay, that Draconian Knight going invisible was actually kind of worrisome for me, but apparently no issues. That's fine. Yeah, it was not intended. Cool interaction, but a bit much. Exactly, yeah. I don't think it quite makes sense. Doesn't quite jive with me. Ooh. 2+1 cloaks. So we're wearing a cyan. And what have we got? A gray. Normally I'd kind of lean towards the gray. You know, the nice neutral tones kind of go well with any outfit that you're trying to put together on a dungeoneer's salary, but Mr. McHuge Stonebeard, I keep wanting to say Stonebird, Mr. McHuge Stonebeard here, they're a bit of a peacock. They like to, you know, be the first thing you see when you drop down into a new dungeon level. So for that reason and that reason alone, we gotta go with the bright cyan cloak. It's all about not just making your way through the dungeon, surviving to tell the tale, yada yada yada. It's also the statement. You gotta make a statement with your wares as you continue through the breach here. If all of you could come right up this way, at least we have resist corrosion on innately. That's often something we'd need to switch to, but on this character we've had it pretty much since the start, I believe. So that's off of our amulet, but okay, 2 more gold dragons. Come on, folks. Wish me luck. Give me your skin. I want your skin. Gold dragon scales are intact enough to wear. Don't mind if I do. Hopefully I don't run into your kids, because that'd be an awkward thing to explain why I'm wearing the skin of their parent, but I'm gonna do it one way or another, so say la vie, I guess. But that is lovely. We'll get a nice buff to our fire and cold resistance, and we'll finally be able to enchant this bad boy up as well. Losing out on 3 slain, but that's fine. So let's swap now. I mean, talking about bold outfit choices, it's a bit bright. It's a bit bright. But now read these 3 scrolls of enchant armor, and that's a start at the very least. Up to 28 AC, we're on our way. Still have pseudopods, that's a big reason why our armor class is low in general here. That should be alright, and when it rains it pours, another golden dragon scales for our entertainment here. That one goes to the slimes though. Definitely fair enough. Okie dokie, and there we are. Not too shabby here. What do we wish to do with the rest of our evening? Do I want to just head into Zot, start clearing the way through? Could go back up to Crypt, again, even if just to get our PD maxed out. We take a look at our abilities. I mean, they're all fully castable. I don't know how many Slimifies we could get off in a single fight. If we think about it from before, we were at, maybe not max PD, but we were at high PD, and we used Oozamancy twice and Slimify twice, I believe. Maybe even 3 times for Oozamancy, and that's what got us to a little bit of a rougher failure rate. But barring that, shouldn't be too bad. Ooze goes wild for a day in Trunk. They gave Ooze PD for damaging summons and such, after a day was limited to hostile, such things. Oh my gosh. Summon some friends and attack them until you have enough PD for grand finale. That is pretty wild. It's always funny what players of any game will discover. I mean, give them an inch and they'll just run away with it. Okay, we got to be slightly cautious with the gong. Going to be drawing a lot of attention, and the main issue, again, as we kind of mentioned briefly in Depths, is that we have the one way in, one way out. So we don't want to get too much nastiness awaiting us at the bottom of the stairs here. Ooh, and I definitely didn't want to get cornered. So I'm going to keep heading down while I can. It does open me up to being surrounded a bit more, but hoping to chunk through these bad boys, or at the very least a fear scroll would send them all running and we could just head for the stairs. So it's something. Let's go for early Oozamancy. Lovely. If you're gonna step out of the way, that just takes a little bit off my plate. Ooh, Enraged Dragons is really bad. Very, very bad. Okay, this is a very classic example of slow it down a little bit. We're also currently slowed. And yeah, the Berserk Quicksilver Dragon and the Berserk Gold Dragon are both gonna wreak absolute havoc if they come forward, and I'm pretty sure these other monsters will make way for them, since generally stronger things are allowed to do that. So what can we potentially do to alleviate this problem? Again, Fear Scroll clears out these two. Unfortunately, these buddies are also fast. They will surround us. Could Slamify the Red Draconian and swap places and then just walk around. Definitely an option, especially since we'd hope that the Oozamancy walls deal enough damage to free the way. I think I'll save Slimify for when one of these dragons gets adjacent to us, though. Because our slime wouldn't last very long either, unfortunately. But it is important to keep in mind that we have Slimify available. That's huge. So, do I want to take any preliminary movements now? We could drink a haste. Could also shoot some acid one way or another, potentially even try and kill the Moth of Wrath. Early Telly is a good suggestion too, Callie, yeah. Just hope that we land somewhere a little bit better. It does mean we're in a rough spot going forward from there because we'll constantly be attracting the entire floor our direction. There's nothing we can do about that with the gong in hand. So we have to go for a little bit more preventative measures. Netted enemies, not being able to give way for other enemies, that could be used to our advantage for sure. Net the Black Draconian. Give the Gold Dragon at least a little bit of trouble for passing forward. So if we compare their damage to the Quicksilver, it's definitely quite a bit worse. Another issue I'm facing here is just that we're slowed, I believe, from the Death Cob here. And that means that we're going quite a bit slower than these Berserked enemies. You know what, let's start with a haste to just kind of negate that. Then, this slash might kill the Black Draconian, so be it. Then, we Slimify. Did I miss? I barely missed. No, that's not it. I clawed the Gold Dragon, barely missed the Gold Dragon. Okay. One more shot. Perfect. Turn them into a slime. That's huge. The Quicksilver still hurts, but we can probably kill them fast enough that it's not as much of an issue. So we level up to level 23, and there we have it. Let's head back to the stairs here, pop up, heal up, take advantage of our cheat mode on Deep Dwarf here with Jivia, and perfect. Don't have a blink? Unfortunately not. No, we used all of our blinks early on in the run. Because while we had an extremely strong start on this character, the hubris was also just out of control. You know Spider's crazy when Zot has spider enemies. That's the thing about the... I was gonna say Wath the Math. You know what? Screw it. I should just lean into it. Own it. That's the thing about Waths of Math, is that they are definitely almost fit to be in any section of the game because they are just gonna amplify the dangers that are already present. Okay, switch to Spectral Broadaxe here just to get some nice heavy damage, especially since we can retreat up the stairs if things start to look dire. Almost hoping that we get a little more surrounded. There we go. Chop our way through. Don't know how I feel in the Spectral. We mainly switched to it to take care of this Lightning Golem. But I might actually kind of like it. Again, with the caveat that we gotta be a bit careful that we're not taking heavy damage unexpectedly. As long as we're keeping that in mind, takes up a nice slot, makes things a bit safer when we're already calling such egregious levels of attention our way. Okay, Moth of Wrath is probably gonna enrage this dragon or something. Oh wow, did right as we took them upstairs. How about that? Well, just then we should be able to fight, so that's not too shabby. But still scary, still scary.